Okay, welcome to part 2 of the PACT tutorial. So the next step, we have our clip that is out of QuickTime and it's huge. It's over 800 megabytes. So in order to shrink that down, we have to compress that with software. So I recommend that you use Handbrake, and it's free for download. And again, I'll be using a Mac. The interface for Handbrake should be similar cross-platform or cross-operating system. So we'll start by launching Handbrake. Here, I'll quit QuickTime here, and then go find Handbrake. And again, the link to download Handbrake will also be in the description of this video. So as soon as you launch Handbrake, it's going to say, what do you want to encode? So this dialog box is actually asking for my large uncompressed video file. So clips combined right there. So I'm going to open this, and then Handbrake is going to scan the clip. I just want to make sure that this time code matches the time of my video. So 11 minutes 33 seconds, that's good. And then destination, so this is where it's going to save my file. So I want to save it back to the desktop, but instead of naming it the same thing, I'm going to say compressed, so I know that this is a different version. It's going to save it as a .mp4 file, which is fine. TK20 likes that. And then for presets, you might not see this window over here to the right, this guy. So what you have to do is just click on toggle presets. And I recommend that you use iPhone, iPod Touch. So if you click that, and this is going to just change, make the frame size smaller, and this will also save you if you record it in HD. So I'm going to do iPhone, iPod Touch, and you'll notice that my picture size is going from 1280 by 720 by 1280 to 480 by 272. Sorry, 1280 by 720, outputting 480 by 272. So now I want to check web optimized right there in the middle of the screen. Web optimized. That's going to compress the beginning of the video more, so it'll allow it to buffer when it plays back. And then where it says average bit rate, I want this to be around, let's say 500, to get it under that 100 megabyte requirement for upload. So with that selected, and again, feel free to play around with this number. I wouldn't go higher than, say, like 700, and I wouldn't go any lower than 400 for average bit rate at this frame size for iPhone or iPod Touch. So then I'm going to select 2-pass encoding, and then I'm going to select turbo first pass, and then I'm just going to make sure everything's correct. So web optimized, that's good. Make sure that video codec is set to H.264, that's fine. And again, format, we want MP4. So that's okay. So the last step is just to click start. So this big play button up here. And then plan on it taking about, this clip's saying that it's going to be about 11 minutes down here at the bottom. But yeah, anywhere from 15 to 20 minutes for both passes, and you should be done with your compression. Okay, looks like my encode is just about finished. Took about 10 minutes. So as soon as you see this message right here, put down that cocktail, your Handbrake queue is done. It means you're done. So just go ahead and click OK. So now we just want to make sure that that file that came out is going to be under the kind of file size limit that we have in TK20. So I'm going to just minimize Handbrake because I might have to come back there. So clips combined.mov. That's my that's my large file that came out of QuickTime. So then I should have somewhere clips combined compressed. So that's right there. So I want to open this up. So I'm going to do open with QuickTime 7. And you'll notice that the actual size of the video is much smaller. So I just want to make sure that this plays.
Talk with us a little bit, and this is Alex.
Alright, so that works. And then the way that I can see the file size, so I'm going to go up to Window, and I'm going to say Show Movie Inspector. So I'll do that. And this will give me some information. So see, I'm way under 100, so I'm actually at 52. So I could have gotten away with increasing that data rate a little more, the average data rate, that number that we set to 500. So, but I'm under, so that's good. That would be a different case if I had, say, I have 11 minutes 13 seconds of video, but if I had 20 minutes, I would be getting close to that 100 megabytes. So, and then I can also see my average data rate turned out to be about 628. And then, so if you're close, so let's say that this said, you looked at the inspector and it said 99 megabytes. So this, you can't always go by this. Sometimes you'll have to actually right-click the file. So right-click and do Get Info. And this is true on a Mac. It would be Properties on a PC. So right-click, Get Info. And this will actually tell me how big the file is. And again, you probably only need to do this if you're really close to that 100 megabyte mark and you want to be totally accurate. Because otherwise you'll have a problem uploading it. Alright, so this is telling me that it is 55. So that's just up here on the screen right there. 55.1 versus View Movie Inspector versus 52. So this is telling me that the video is smaller than what the Get Info is telling me. So I'm probably going to go by the larger file size just to be safe, just to be careful there. All right. So what did we get out of this? We got our compressed clip. We have a large file, so that's not compressed. Well, it is compressed, but not as much. So why keep the larger video file? If you need to go back and make edits, it's better to do it on the less compressed video because you can keep the quality. If you go back and edit the compressed video and then compress it again, it's going to degrade in quality. And you don't want that. So if you can work from the original files, it's always going to be better than working with the compressed version. So we have those, and then we also have our two clips that were directly from the camera. So the clips that were from the camera were .mov. We saved a .mov, and .mov is just a QuickTime format. And then from the .mov, we compressed it with Handbrake and ended up with a .mp4. So I get this question a lot. What's the difference between .mp4 and .m4v? There really isn't. It's just gonna, with .m4v, they're both interchangeable. So if I change this to this file extension from .mp4 to .m4v, I'm just down here. See if I can zoom in on that. So I went from .mp4 to .m4v. If I just change that, it's going to say, which one do you want to use? If I do use m4v, when I open a .m4v file, instead of opening QuickTime, it will open in, you guessed it, iTunes. So, it's just a preference. I usually tend to just have it go .mp4. It's just easier for me. So we're just going to close this. And then I can just change it back. .mp4. And I think that's preferred. So use mp4. And that's fine. Alright, so you survived. We managed to compress a clip to fit the maximum upload for video.